My name's David, and I'm just going to tell you my story. I grew up in a suburban Minnesota nice Christian family, loving parents, the youngest of 3 boys, and I really didn't want for anything as a kid growing up. We had kind of the Leave It to Beaver family almost. Father's knows best, and my 3 sons. That was kind of our household. And as a young kid, my parents were involved in church. Church was an every Sunday thing. They were involved in couples weekly Bible study. They sang in the choir, and we were church kids. And I was a leader in our church youth group, outreach ministry for kids, and that's kind of all I knew. My nickname in high school was AJ because I would go to the parties after football games and drink apple juice. And when I went away to college, I guess I got kind of full of myself, and I started to drink on campus. I kind of wrote it off as a rite of passage. I didn't get in trouble. My grades didn't suffer. It wasn't a problem. It was almost like a status symbol. Kind of saw people that came from families of influence and affluence, and a lot of them would have a glass of wine or a cocktail with dinner, and discussing classic literature with the professors and a glass of cognac or wine and cheese. It became kind of a status symbol, and if that's what the well-to-do did, that's what I wanted. And when I graduated from college, I was able to get a good job with the Fortune 100 company, and came with a company car and expense account, and they moved me, and I was ready to move, and I was focused on the next promotion, the next job, the next contest, and my quest became about trash and trinkets. It was about trophies and reward and recognition. The world kind of hijacked me for a couple of decades, and in the meantime, I got married. I took several promotions. I was kind of on a fast track with a good company, and they moved me around the country, and it was always a nicer house with a bigger yard or a better location. All of those things that the world tells you are marks for success, I kind of had accumulated in a lake home, and I had a Mercedes in the driveway, 2 dogs and a kid, married to my high school sweetheart that was a former beauty queen, and by the world standards, I had everything, and what was missing was that relationship with Christ, and I just didn't know it. Part of the problem was the alcohol had distorted my perspective of reality, and I ended up going through a divorce as an alcoholic and not having God in front and present. I still had my faith in my back pocket, but I wasn't living it, and I wasn't working it. I realized that I had painted myself into a corner, and really just didn't know how to get myself out of it. And that's when my brothers kind of rallied around me and suggested that I take a look at going to Minnesota Teen Challenge, which was a year-long program, and I didn't think I needed that, and I didn't think I could afford to take a year. And my brothers just looked at me and said, "David, you can't afford not to." My serenity prayer really changed in the early stages at Teen Challenge. I just earnestly, numerous times a day and persistently, over the first probably 3 or 4 months that I was in the program, my prayer was just seeking knowledge of God's will for me and have courage to carry it out. And that night when I went to bed, I just said, God, if you're real, you got to show me, and I'll pursue you. And if you're real, let's just make it happen. I had what I would call a radical encounter with the Holy Spirit and the resurrection of Jesus Christ about 6 months into the program, where I knew that He was who He said He was, and that the gospel message was true. I just pray that you have that prayer. Seek God, ask Him to reveal Himself, and if you are a believer, be encouraged by this testimony. And I encourage you to share your faith. I encourage you to do more than show up on Sunday. So that's my story. I hope it resonates with you, and God bless.